That's Julia O'Dwyer. Let's speak to David Davis, Conservative MP and former Shadow Home Secretary. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
What do you make of today's events?
Well, it's very good news. I mean, Janice was right to congratulate the Home Secretary. This must have been a pretty tough decision to take. Previous Home Secretaries have sidestepped it or not taken the decision or decided the other way. So, A, it was good. B, it's good that we've got some progress on the so-called Forum Amendment. What this means is British judges making decisions about these cases to say this must be heard in Britain. And elevating the bar a bit on that. And that's really important for a number of reasons. I mean, number one, you've got cases like Gary's, which could lead to him committing suicide, bluntly. Secondly, even the case of Richard O'Dwyer's, here's a young man who's... To say this is a crime, beggars belief, frankly. He had a website which had links to other websites which maybe were committing crimes or at least copyright offences anyway. The idea of extraditing somebody for that is completely at odds with what the Parliament thought when they were passing the law in the first place. They thought the law was to allow the extradition of terrorists and paedophiles and so on, not young men who are foolish enough to link to illegal websites.
Right, so just to go back to the Forum Amendment then, I mean, is it, in a way, I mean, perhaps it's not the most sympathetic way of looking at it, but is it the idea of being able to opt out of the extradition agreements between the two countries?
Well, no, in essence what it says is you try them here. You raise the bar, make it more likely that they get tried here. And with these,
but hang on a minute, even if America says, no, we want it tried over there.
Too bad. Too bad. I mean, let me give you the other half of this story, because there have been cases in which British citizens have been taken to the States, and most recently one by Mr. Christopher Tappin. Now, I don't know the innocence or guilt of the individuals concerned. I presume innocent until proven guilty. But what they're told by the U.S. authorities is either plead guilty, in which case we'll give you a couple of years and you probably serve half of that in an open prison back in the UK. Or if you plead not guilty, it'll cost you tens of millions, that's not hyperbole, tens of millions to defend yourself. You'll bankrupt yourself, impoverish your descendants or your family. And by the way, we'll try and slam you up for 35 years. That's actually the case of Christopher Tappin. Now, that's not justice. That's using the justice system to intimidate people into pleading guilty whether they are or not. That's one of the reasons why we shouldn't be sending people to America, or indeed some other countries. They aren't the only ones who do it.
Just one other point. You raised concerns in the Commons today that the extradition agreement, which we've been arguing about for years now between the UK and the US, is not balanced. Is that fair to say?
That's right. I mean,
because Theresa May, disagrees with that. She says it was basically sound.
Well, the extradition agreement of itself, if that's all there was, no doubt would be sound. But the Americans...
It's the application of it.
Yeah, exactly. The application. The Americans have a constitutional right, essentially, for the evidence to be presented before they're extradited. That's actually what their constitution does. Our people don't have that. So the actual, whereas the words may be balanced, the actual operation is anything but. Go look and see how many people have been extradited from America to here. It's given it's a much bigger country than us, it should be 6 times as many as ours. Well, it's nothing like that.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the words quickly. To extradite an American from the US, the British must prove probable cause.
That's right.
The other way around, requiring the US to show only reasonable suspicion reasonable suspicion to secure the extradition of a British citizen. You're saying that the words sound similar, but the application is not.
The practice is much more disparate than that. It's much more disparate than that.
Okay, David, thank you very much. That is David Davis, Conservative MP and former Shadow Home Secretary. It's 12 minutes past